Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, and today we are going to take a look at a horrible case with you. The tragic demise of Irene Garza. Irene Garza's life was one of promise and community engagement in McAllen, Texas, a small city in the Rio Grande Valley. Her disappearance and subsequent murder in 1960 sparked a complex and long-running investigation that reflected broader issues of justice and institutional power. Her case, marked by a lengthy search for truth and eventual resolution decades later, highlights significant concerns about the handling of high-profile cases and the impact of systemic failures on achieving justice. Irene Garza was born on July 15, 1934 in McAllen, Texas. Her family was deeply rooted in the Catholic faith, and Irene was raised in a close-knit community that placed a high value on religious and social involvement. From a young age, Irene was known for her vibrant personality, beauty, and dedication to her community. Her involvement in Sacred Heart Catholic Church was notable. She participated actively in various church functions and was a popular figure in her local parish. Irene was also a beauty queen, an accolade that highlighted her charm and the admiration she commanded in her community. Her life seemed to be on a promising trajectory, marked by her social engagement and personal aspirations. On April 16, 1960, Irene attended the Easter Vigil service at Sacred Heart Catholic Church. The service was an important event in the Catholic liturgical calendar, marking the culmination of Holy Week. Irene's attendance was consistent with her deep religious commitment and her regular participation in church activities. After the service, Irene was seen leaving the church, but she did not return home. Her absence was immediately noted by her family, who were accustomed to her regular communication. Concern grew as the hours passed without word from her. Her family, knowing Irene's commitment to her home and family, was alarmed by her unexplained disappearance. The McAllen Police Department launched an investigation immediately following Irene's disappearance. The initial response involved interviewing potential witnesses and following up on leads. Despite their efforts, the investigation faced significant challenges. The primary difficulty was the lack of forensic technology, which limited the ability to track down crucial evidence. During the early days of the investigation, the police focused on the possibility of Irene having left voluntarily or being involved in some sort of accident. However, these theories quickly fell apart as no credible leads emerged. The case became increasingly urgent as days turned into a week without significant progress. 5 days after Irene's disappearance, on April 21, 1960, her body was discovered in a canal near McAllen. The discovery was made by local workers who were maintaining the canal. The body had decomposed significantly, complicating the forensic examination. The autopsy revealed that Irene had been brutally attacked and physically assaulted before her death. The findings were shocking and horrifying for her family and the community. The brutality of the crime underscored the urgency of finding the perpetrator and brought the investigation back into the public eye. As the investigation progressed, attention turned to several potential suspects. The police interviewed numerous individuals who might have had connections to Irene or potential motives. However, the investigation did not yield any immediate results, leading to frustration and growing concern within the community. One name that repeatedly surfaced was Father John Feet, a priest at Sacred Heart Church. Feet had been seen with Irene on the night of her disappearance. His presence at the church and his interactions with Irene were scrutinized, raising suspicions among investigators and the public. Father John Feet was a priest with a controversial history. He had previously faced allegations of inappropriate behavior, though these had not led to significant legal consequences. Feet's involvement in the church and his position of authority made him a person of interest in the investigation. Despite the growing suspicion, the evidence linking Feet to Irene's murder remains circumstantial. Authorities faced challenges in directly connecting him to the crime, and there was a significant lack of physical evidence tying him to the scene. The investigation struggled with institutional barriers, including the influence of the Catholic Church, which complicating the efforts to gather evidence and pursue leads. The community's reaction to Irene's disappearance and murder was one of shock and outrage. As the investigation stalled, local media coverage intensified, bringing greater scrutiny to the case. The media played a crucial role in keeping the case in the public eye and applying pressure on law enforcement to make progress. Community members organized vigils and search parties, demonstrating their commitment to finding Irene and bringing her killer to justice. Despite these efforts, the investigation struggled to gain traction, leading to a growing sense of despair and frustration among Irene's family and the community. As time passed without significant breakthroughs, the investigation into Irene Garza's murder grew cold. The lack of progress and the challenges faced by investigators contributed to a sense of hopelessness. The case remained unresolved for years, leaving Irene's family in a state of prolonged uncertainty. The cold case status of Irene's murder was emblematic of broader issues within the criminal justice system, particularly the challenges of solving high-profile cases with limited evidence and the impact of institutional barriers on the pursuit of justice. In the 2000s, advances in forensic technology and renewed interest in cold cases led to a reevaluation of Irene Garza's murder. The development of new forensic methods such as DNA analysis provided new tools for investigating old cases. This technological progress, coupled with increased public and media attention, led to a renewed focus on the case. Investigative journalists and legal experts began revisiting the case, examining previously overlooked evidence, and re-interviewing witnesses. This renewed scrutiny brought the case back into the spotlight and generated new leads. In 2016, Father John Feet was arrested in connection with Irene Garza's murder. The arrest was a result of a thorough review of the case, which uncovered new evidence and corroborated previous suspicions about Feet's involvement. Feet had been living in Arizona, where he was apprehended and charged with the crime. The arrest was a significant development in the case, as it marked a major breakthrough after decades of uncertainty. It also raised questions about the handling of the case and the influence of institutional power on the investigation. Father John Feet's trial began in 2017, drawing significant media attention and public interest. The trial was a critical moment in the quest for justice, as it provided an opportunity to examine the evidence and hold Feet accountable for his actions. The prosecution presented a compelling case supported by new forensic evidence and witness testimonies. The evidence included DNA analysis and forensic details that linked Feet to the crime. The prosecution argued that Feet's position as a priest had provided him with access to Irene and that his actions were a clear abuse of power. Feet's defense team mounted a vigorous challenge, questioning the credibility of the evidence and the reliability of witness testimonies. Despite these efforts, the prosecution's case was strong and Feet's defense struggled to counter the evidence presented. On August 29, 2017, Father John Feet was convicted of the murder of Irene Garza. The conviction was a landmark moment in the case, providing a measure of justice for Irene's family and the community. The verdict was widely regarded as a significant step in addressing the long-standing injustice. The resolution of Irene Garza's case had profound implications for her family and the community. For Irene's family, the conviction represented a long-awaited measure of closure after decades of uncertainty and frustration. The case also highlighted broader issues related to the criminal justice system, including the challenges of addressing crimes involving powerful institutions and the impact of delayed forensic advancements. The case prompted a reevaluation of how similar cases are handled, emphasizing the need for robust investigative practices and the importance of accountability for institutions that may obstruct justice. Irene's story remains a poignant reminder of the complexities of seeking justice and the enduring impact of unresolved violence. The Irene Garza case has had broader implications for the criminal justice system and the handling of high-profile cases. It's highlighted the need for continuous efforts to address systemic issues and ensure that justice is served, regardless of the time elapsed or the obstacles encountered. The case has also underscored the importance of transparency and accountability in the handling of sensitive and high-profile cases. It serves as a reminder of the need for vigilance in the pursuit of justice and the impact of institutional power on the resolution of such cases. The case of Irene Garza is a powerful narrative of tragedy, persistence, and eventual justice. Her life, marked by promise and community involvement, was tragically cut short, leading to a prolonged and complex search for truth. The eventual conviction of Father John Feet, while providing a measure of closure, underscores the ongoing need for vigilance and reform in the pursuit of justice. Irene's tragic story serves as a powerful reminder of the need for accountability and transparency within institutions, particularly those that wield significant influence and authority. Her case highlights the devastating effects of silence and complicity, as well as the importance of speaking truth to power. Through Irene's story, we are reminded of the resilience and strength of the human spirit, even in the face of unimaginable tragedy. Her legacy continues to inspire and empower others to seek justice and fight for what is right. Ultimately, Irene Garza's story is a reminder that we must always stand up for the vulnerable, hold the powerful accountable, and never forget the victims of abuse and injustice. Irene's story has inspired countless individuals to take action against abuse and injustice. Her legacy lives on through the countless lives she touched and the many who continue to fight for justice in her name. The outpouring of support for Irene's family and the community's determination to seek justice demonstrate the power of collective action. When we come together to support one another and demand change, we can create a more just and equitable world. Irene's case highlights the need for accountability and transparency within institutions. We must demand that those in power are held accountable for their actions and that institutions prioritize the well-being and safety of their members. Garza's murder and the subsequent investigation uncovered significant systemic failures. The lack of transparency, inadequate response to allegations, and failure to hold individuals accountable contributed to a prolonged search for justice. Such systemic issues are not unique to Garza's case. They reflect broader problems within many institutions where power dynamics can hinder fair treatment and accountability. Systemic failures often involve a combination of factors, including inadequate training, lack of oversight, and cultural norms that tolerate or overlook misconduct. Addressing these failures requires a comprehensive approach, including reforms in policies, procedures, and attitudes within institutions. By examining the root causes of these failures, we can work towards creating more robust systems that prioritize justice and transparency. In honoring her memory, we embrace the responsibility to advocate for change, support victims, and work toward a world where the lessons from Irene Garza's case lead to a future where justice prevails and the vulnerable are protected. Let her story be a beacon of hope and a reminder of the power of collective action in the fight for a more just and equitable society. Thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe to my channel. There are many shocking stories ahead of you.